Hello there. It is Wednesday, and I am late to lunch with a magician. Um, I'm sorry if you were waiting on me. Um, and I could try to tell you that I won't be late again, but I'm just going to be honest, I probably will. Sometimes I have been known to say that I was born 2 weeks late, and I'm still trying to catch up. And I know, yes, I know that is a habit I could change, and I've been told on many levels that if I can be 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes late, whatever, I can always be on time. That is absolutely not true, by the way. It's just a groove. It is a groove. It is a habit. Um, and it is probably something, it is definitely something I could shift and I could change. Obviously, at this point in my life right now, it is not the priority, or I would be on time. And it may become one. But um, I think I'm working my way through it. So if you are late like me, give yourself some grace. Let it be. Don't worry about it. Um, there are more important things to think about. So today, I want to talk to you about something that is big, 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 big in my mind right now, and it is so important. Um, I had an experience over the weekend. It was a little bit wild. It was a little bit harebrained. It was a little crazy adventure that I took my son on, and I'm sure that I will be sharing more with you as the next couple of weeks come through, because there was so much that happened in it, and I'm having so many revelations and realizations and understandings. But this one thing is just so big in my mind right now. Stop second guessing yourself. Stop it right now. Just don't do it anymore. That's a tall order. You probably won't stop right now. I won't stop right now. But here's what you can do. You can, when you hear yourself start to second guess yourself, you can say, hey, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to agree with myself. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to tell you about a little story, a little adventure that happened this weekend, one little part of it, that to illustrate that. But here's the thing that you've got to know. I just want everybody on the planet to know this. It is so important. It is so important. You, the one watching this, the one hearing this, the one seeing this, you are the only one with the answers to the things in your life. I don't want to say issues. I don't want to say problems. I don't want to say challenge, whatever it is. I mean, I even hesitate to say answers, but you are the only one who knows the way forward for your unique life. Other people can give you tips. Other people can give you ideas. Other people can give you support, love, encouragement, but they cannot tell you how to go. They cannot tell you how to walk that path. And even me, if you listen to me, or if I have helpful ideas for you, like, I hope so. That is always my intention, that the things that I say and the ways that I be lift you, right? But what I want to lift you in is in your confidence for yourself, right? I want to encourage you and support you in listening to yourself above all else. Now, I'll admit there are some big challenges in believing that this is how people best live on this planet. Probably the biggest one is with my kids, right? Because I have to walk the walk, right? If I'm going to tell you that, I mean, there's no magic age. You don't turn 18 and then listen to yourself, right? It's too late then. If you've been listening to somebody else from 0 to 18 and you think that at 18 you're going to switch and be able to hear yourself, you won't. You'll go through what a lot of us go through, which is unlearning listening to other people and relearning how to listen to ourselves. And young children tend to listen to themselves. And it's hard, right? As a parent, as a teacher, as anybody who works with young people, because they're listening to that inner voice. And you may know some young people who have a very strong inner voice and just don't, they just march to a different drummer. Thank God for those people, right? Thank God for those people who absolutely refuse to listen to anybody else but themselves. Because that is a skill that so many of us are, and I think particularly in this time in the world, are relearning how to do, how to hear ourselves. And when you go 20, 30, 40, 50 years listening to other people, your own voice is really quiet. and you have to get really still to hear it again. And it's not that it can't be done, and however you're doing it is right and well and good, but why go through all that? Why go through all that? Because you truly are. You have unique ideas, dreams, solutions, understandings that this world needs, that the people in your life need, that are being called forward from you, and that are necessary to help us make this planet a beautiful place to live in, right? And a good place to start is with stopping second guessing yourself. So let me tell you about my little story, and then we can talk about what that looks like. So I had a wild, harebrained idea. I often get them, and I often act on them, and then a lot of times I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't just jump into something totally blind. I usually like to know a little bit. I can't get enough of an idea of the edge and kind of where to go and what to do, but then let's go for it, right? So my middle son never asked for anything, except for to not be put on social media, so that's why you don't see pictures of him on here. But he does not ask for anything. He is very, he's just an easygoing guy. He's taking life in. He's doing his own thing. But he recently, in the last year, started playing golf. We started playing golf together. I had played, so funny story, my dad said he would never play golf. And he sort of had a midlife thing and took up golf, and I got to go play with him. And some of the best memories of my childhood was going around with my dad and playing golf. Something we could do for a couple of hours on the weekend, and it was just the two of us. And it was really special. And I didn't play since then, but a couple of years ago I got my oldest a set of clubs, and we started, and then I got my middle son out there, and he loves it, and it's fun, and it's frustrating, and it makes you crazy, and you want to be good, and all these kind of things. But anyway, it's a great place to spend time with a teenager, I will tell you. And so I got this wild hare for his birthday. We're gonna go on a golf trip, and so I went to a crazy place that we were outclassed on many levels. And I decided to do it, and then all of the stuff. Jane, what are you doing? You all are not good enough to play there. You don't even know what you're doing. This place is too expensive. You can't stop. Why are you doing that? You should have picked something else. You should have not chosen to stay there. But he also, this is my son who loves to cook, right? So he actually cooks dinner 98% of the time. For a while we were cooking together, and now he does it all himself. And he cooks great meals. And I help him, and we come up with the menu together and stuff. But anyway, so I wanted to treat him to some delicious meals too, right? Because it's his birthday, and this child never asked for anything, and he's 14, and I wanted to provide him with a wonderful experience. And so, all the things came up, especially as it got closer, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be away, I shouldn't just be taking him, and I had this idea to experiment with this thought for myself, right? Because all I was doing was second guessing. I had the idea to, let's go do this thing, and it was life-giving, and it was exhilarating, it was exciting, and I couldn't wait to do this for him. I couldn't wait to create this experience and get to do it with him, right? And all of that felt so good. And I said, you know what, Jane, why not just experiment with the idea of saying to yourself, if I had the idea, it was right. If I had the idea, it was right. If I knew that idea was right. Now, I'm not saying that all your, how do I put this? You have to know where you are when you have the idea. You have to know what place that's coming from. Because it could be coming from a place of fear and doubt, right? Or it could be coming of a place of anger or anxiety or something. But it was not. It was coming from a place of just love for my child, and excitement about being in the world, and passion about all the tremendous things we get to do while we're here on the planet. So I knew that idea was coming from a real high vibe place, real high energy place. And so I said, okay, you know this, Jane. You know this in your head, right? You know this in your heart. So let's just practice agreeing with yourself. I knew that idea came, so let's practice. So every time the fear came up. Every time the doubt that I shouldn't have done this, I didn't know what I was doing, was in over my head. I just said, hey, it was the idea it came, it was right. If the idea came, it was right for us. It was good. This was the best way to go about it. Everything's going to work out. I knew what I was doing. I can trust myself. I can trust myself. I get ideas that are good for all the people in my life, right? So I just experimented with that, and I played with that as we were leading up to the trip and then during the trip. And you know what's beautiful about it? It not only soothed me and my sort of nervousness about doing something wild or crazy. I just realized I have a sloth. I have a sloth velcroed on the back of the chair. Don't mind the sloth. It soothed me, but the other thing is, I know for a fact that it paved the way for a beautiful experience, right? Because it held me open and receptive to all the good things around me, right? Like, you have to kind of tune yourself like a radio dial. So, and okay, you know how this goes, right? So if you're having a bad day, if it starts off, the milk was sour, you're late to work, somebody's in your way, right? You have just turned your dial to crappy day. Yeah? And you will notice the things around you will be crappy. Now, you can get a hold of that and you can tune to another dial. Most of us have to go to sleep and start over again the next day. Same way, I'm sure you've had days where just everything was just beautiful, right? Like the food was good, the people were good, you got to do lovely things, or maybe nothing at all, and just felt good. And on those days, have you noticed? Children just show their best sides, your partner is amazing. And here's the thing, all of these things exist at once. It's what you're tuned into that you receive, right? So you will receive from them what you're tuned into. What your expectation is what you're going to get. So once I could tune in to the thought that I was right. I was right to make this trip. I was right to make this plan. It was an inspired idea for my son and for me. I tuned in to that frequency and was able to receive that, from the hotel where we stayed, from all the people on the golf course. And I didn't stay there 100% of the time. I definitely wobbled. We definitely had some stressful moments. We had some crazy weather too. But I wanted to tell you about this, the very last part of our trip. So the very last part of our trip, we were playing the last round of golf. And we had been paired with another mother and son. And they had a caddy and we did not. And, I was just, this is not my native environment. So trying to figure out how to be comfortable and be proper etiquette, but also just being myself, right? And it got kind of backed up along the course. And because we are not great players, I'm always concerned that I'm holding somebody up, right? That somebody behind me is like wanting to go through and, and I can't, and I'm not keeping the pace and that kind of thing. And keeping the pace is like a big deal. So what happened though, were the players in front of us were backed up. So we were backed up, and there was a couple behind us, and they kept kind of coming up on the fairway. Like they didn't wait, and they were close, and I just, every time I look back, I would just feel like, oh, they're probably so irritated, they're mad, they didn't know I'm bad, and they wish I would just pick up my ball and go, and that kind of thing. And then I would put it out of my mind and remind myself that it's fine, I can occupy space, it's okay for me to be here, I'm not upsetting anyone, So if you have these thoughts in your head, know that I do too. But anyway, got to finish the round. It was kind of late in the day, so the people at the little stand were gone. We returned the push cart, and I was having trouble getting the cover on my clubs. My son was helping me, and I had the nervous thought. I was like, oh, if I don't hurry up, those people are going to finish and come over here, and maybe they'll be irritated at me or just, whatever. And here's the thing what happened. So we did take too long. They did come over and return their little push carts too. And it was a woman and a man. And the woman looked at me and smiled, and she smiled, and she said, here's what she said. She said, it was so good watching you play today with your son. She said, we have 3 boys, and it makes me cry to tell the story, because she said, watching you play reminded us of all the good times we had playing together. And we had so many conversations throughout the round of this time with one son and this time with another son, and it just brought so many beautiful memories to us, and we just really enjoyed it. And we chatted a little bit, and they still play, and it was fun to hear about that. And we agreed that the three of us agreed that what a wonderful way to spend time with your teenager, you know. But here's the thing. Here I was, stressed, nervous, making myself wrong, shouldn't be here, not good enough, blah, 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 right? All of that stuff. And all along, they were behind me, having their hearts filled with memories of the beautiful times with their own children. Like, really? I was right. My intuition to book this trip, to go on this trip, to be in an uncomfortable place, stretch myself in terms of golf and experience and everything, was spot on. It was spot on for so many reasons that I will tell you more and more that came through over the next little while here. But in that particular instance, it was spot on because what a gift that we gave them, right? We were just doing what we love to do, right? Just love to be out there and be playing together. And we gave them a beautiful gift and really added to their round and their afternoon. And so it really emphasized to me the importance, not just for you and for your dream and for the people in your life and the things you like to do, but for all of those around us. When you hold back and you have that idea, because you have that idea to go and do the thing, buy the thing, go to the place, have the adventure, and then you're like, oh, you pull it back. I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the know-how, I don't know what I'm doing, right? You pull it back and no, I can't do that. You don't just deny yourself the experience and the gift of what it was you were going to do, but you are denying so many other people the experience of participating with you. As you live life more fully and let life flow through you because of your passions and your desires and the things that you love to do, it's like a huge magnet. It's like one of those cartoon magnets that you pull it on, it sucks the whole town, right? Like, it pulls people forward. It lifts them up. It fills them with love. It fills them with passion, and their hearts are overflowing, right? So you've got to stop second guessing yourself. You know in your heart what it is for you to do, right? You know. And you've got to follow it. You just have got to follow it. You got to do it for yourself. You've got to do it for your family. You need to do it for your friends. And by golly, you need to do it for strangers that you haven't even met yet, who are going to be lifted up and loved because you lifted yourself and loved your own life. So I'm afraid you just got to do it. You got to stop second guessing yourself. And you might as well start today. All right? So, yeah. That is the topic on my mind today. And I just want to encourage you to agree with yourself. Agree with yourself. Just experiment with it. Just play with it. See what comes out of it, and let me know, because I do love to hear it. I love to hear it. And I'm going to be sharing a lot more about some of the things that we learned and grew together over this trip. I'm going to do a lot of my email list. So if you want to hop on the list, I'll put the link in below in the comments, and I'll share more there. But have a beautiful day. Believe in yourself. Agree with yourself. And tell me how it goes. Okay. Love you. Talk to you next week.